Right, so this is week 3 of our introduction to electronics and code using Arduino and Raspberry Pi. So in the last couple of weeks, we've had a look at the Raspberry Pi and programming and how the GPIO pins connect, and also the Arduino, the same thing. We've been using the Arduino IDE to program the EEPROM so it runs programs. So this week, we're looking at prototyping your project. Last week, I asked you to think about some ideas for projects, and this week, we're actually trying to put it down on paper what it is that we're going to do. So we're going to explore your ideas, and we're going to concretize them and to make them a coherent plan that we can move forward. I'm just going to brush over these for now, but these are programs you can install to map your programs. There's one called Minder, which is a good open source one. There's Mind Map, but my favourite is Post-it notes, pens and paper. Once we've got our ideas, we post some notes, and then we develop effort sprints. So we see, how long these little bits are going to take us. We're going to organise into teams. Most of the real working life that we exist in, there's co-working spaces, and we have lines of communication. So I work with, and I know a lot of companies, people are distributed across the world actually, but they can still work as teams, like with online resources that we've all got now. So, and obviously our goal is to change the world, always with heritage hackers. So what we're going to talk about, talk about time and feature creep and develop a Moscow strategy. So feature creep is just where you set off with one goal, we're going to make this, but as you go along, people keep adding stuff on, and it just pushes your deadlines back. So things that we also need to look out for is the team not working together. If there's anybody not contributing or anything, just find out why. They might have some input, they might be a bit shy, but as we've said before, it's the people we imagine little of that can do the things that none of us can imagine. So just make sure that we're all communicating as a team, people having input. And like back to the Moscow again, which I'll go to in the next slide, is that timescales are easily overrun. We normally run out of time because we've got other things in there that we didn't originally plan for. So the Moscow stands for we need to divide our project up into what we must do in order for it to work, what we should do, what we can't do, and what we won't do. So as you can see, the little time boxes there, little drips, so you can pour out the musts and the shoulds, and then we get to the can'ts and won'ts normally, just so you've got a version of something that is a working prototype of what it is that we're trying to do. Then we can put that into a burn down chart. When we've done our effort sprints, we can say this project, it's going to be a longer project. This is going to be ready by X amount of days or by this particular date. So our project objective is to everybody in your team can talk confidently about the project. If people were to ask questions, what's this do? Why does this do that? It's creating like real world solutions, and hopefully this will be the flagship to your newfound abilities. So this is another one that I always find very, very interesting, and it's identifying all the user stories, like why have you created this? What are its uses in society? Who can use it? Can somebody else recreate it? Have we documented it so somebody could make it after we've made it? Have we made it? Is it saleable? Who's going to use it? Etc. etc. So this is just a little bit of like the storyboarding what we do. So there's like ordered card sorts and unordered card sorts, or you can just use like a whiteboard. So this is a bigger group than we've got here today, but this one essentially, we just get people to, this one was to do with businesses that we were going to set up, online businesses, just to promote and things like that. So we're just brainstorming, essentially, we used to call it, but a lot of people call it ideation. And you'll find synergy in everything. So people write down their ideas, and you tend to see that there's patterns. So these ones like Controversial Debate Club, the Hug Club was about creating like a social media, but that's friendly, that does positive endorphins and debates, understanding that people really struggle to understand debates. There's a thesis and antithesis, and hopefully you can get a synthesis and a new thesis, that people can discuss things to get new outcomes. And also, like I said, we've got some people that want to do with fashion. One of them wanted to make clothes. One of them wanted to make cushions, there's lots of things. So you get these little synergy where them are automatic groups that are going to work together on things because they've got a very, very similar idea. So this is a food, 3 food ones. You get the idea that when a lot of people put posts on a board, you tend to find that there are groupings in there when you group them together. Then people can work on the core project, and that's where the synthesis, antithesis, and thesis model works. You know what I mean? That you'll get a central product that you'll all be able to work on, and then once you've done that, you can work on somebody else's product. So it's about starting with a vague idea of your finished product, and then work backwards, see what we need in order to do that. So we've just seen that was like an unordered card sort, where we just write things down, and it's sort of, you get patterns out of that. And you've got an ordered card sort, so not the next set of sessions, the next session after that, we're going to do like hackathons. So we're going to identify problems, and then we will create an ordered card sort where we then try and sort out a specific problem. And what I'd like you to do with this as well, this is for your benefit, is that put all this down in Fritzing, as well as making it, make sure you document it. Just imagine that you're going to then make this thing, and then you're going to give it to somebody else that they can make it just like you made it, maybe improving it, and put all the documentation, leave a document trail for that. So Fritzing, and I like a program called Dia for diagramming and things like that, modeling. But essentially, you're making your prototype. I would also recommend putting that prototype on something like GitHub, something where people can share and see your work. It probably will stand in good stead in the future. So the overall should of all of this really is to set up a monthly makers meetup on Saturdays in the Lighthouse. So if you start your project next week, you start your project now, but if you don't complete it by next week, hopefully every month on a Saturday, we'll have a little, like a 4-hour session or something like that, where we can complete the work that we're doing. And it just gets us in that habit of making and solving problems. And you never know, I'm pretty sure something good will come of it. So next week, we're just pretty much just completing our projects and documenting and stuff like that. The next set of lessons are up now, which is going to be an introduction to web development and small business startups and things like that. So hopefully you'll be able to register for that as well. So I'll see you all on Thursday, and happy making.